The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Just going to give a couple more minutes here for people to join in. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to WeDo's webinar series. This is the third installment we have hosted as a company. And today we will be talking all about traditional media. Is it dead and what's next? We'll also take some time to discuss some common misconceptions you might have heard in the media industry and a whole lot more. Feel free to type in questions in the chat box throughout the webinar, and I will be happy to answer them in the end of the webinar. A little bit about myself. I have been negotiating and executing media campaigns and strategies since 2013, having placed media for multiple different verticals, starting out with tier 2 and tier 3 automotive dealerships for about 5 years. Fast forward to 2017, where I then dipped my toes into the banking world, managing media buys for banks and local credit unions whose asset size ranged anywhere from 200 million to 3 billion. I am an ABA published author and joined WeDo right at the start of the pandemic in March of 2020. Here at WeDo, I work with a variety of different industries, anything from retail and financial to education and real estate. There really isn't one area of media we don't touch for all of our clients, so it's been a really fun journey for me to come on board with WeDo and learn a lot of new things and grow as a buyer and do it all with a really great team by my side. As you can imagine, a lot has changed with buying media and reaching potential customers during not only the past 8 years, but really the past decade plus. The fact of the matter is marketing methods we've once used or relied on in the past have likely evolved, changed, or been replaced with new ones. To understand where we're at and where we're headed, let's start with taking a deep dive into traditional media and some of the channels that exist. Part 1, what is traditional media? Traditional media refers to advertising channels that have been used for decades. These channels are some of the most tried and true methods that businesses have relied on for years. Traditional media represents a large set of channels and mediums that allow a business to target a broad target audience. This includes mostly non-digital advertising channels and marketing methods. First off, let's start by breaking down the different types of traditional media channels. For print, newspaper and magazine circulation is growing more rapidly depending on the market you live in and how niche your audience is. To assess the value that print offers for your campaign, you want to look at publications with larger circulation numbers. Although exposure time can be short, advertisements in printed media can reach an audience that is already engaged, so there's a lot of value in that. Radio is the original portable marketing channel, reaching people on the go, whether they are running errands or commuting to work. Radio ads provide businesses the opportunity to create a memorable message utilizing a theater of mind approach. And when executed properly, it really enables the audience to go on an emotional journey with the ad and connect on an often deeper and more intimate level. Your message should be brief, yet attention-grabbing, to captivate your audience and lock them in, which can help to establish a lasting relationship with your consumer. Billboard and transit ads are visible to a variety of drivers, including automobile, truck drivers, and motorcyclists. It provides visibility to consumers in a targeted geographical area, so choosing the right location is critical. Similar to radio, a catchy or clever slogan can captivate your audience in a way that creates for a lasting impression, So try to speak to your customers in their language and tailor it to their interests. Advertising on television allows you to showcase your business, product, or service with a wide audience. Whether you're trying to reach a local, regional, or national audience, television is one of the most effective ways to advertise. You can show viewers how your product or service works and how it's packaged, so prospective customers will know what to look for at the point of sale. In fact, Newstar found that TV has the highest relative efficiency for advertising and driving sales than any other medium across many industries. Businesses have used these traditional methods for many years to reach consumers and motivate them to make purchases. And up until very recently, these marketing and advertising styles were very effective and helped many businesses make a profit. Let's walk through some of the common misconceptions people have of traditional media during a time in which new media has emerged at an exponential rate. The fact of the matter is, print advertising isn't dead and won't die so long as there is a perceived notion of trust. In fact, some studies have shown that the majority of people still prefer the hard copy issue than the online counterpart of the newspaper they enjoy reading. If people purchase newspaper continuously for years or subscribe to a magazine, they trust the content of that publication. If they find the content trustworthy and usually consistent, they are likely to stay engaged with this medium source for years to come. Consumers will likely keep these publications lying around, and eventually they will be compelled to look at them, and more often than not, take some action in the direction of purchasing your product or service. While it is true that there has been a decline of traditional TV watching habits, the truth is that it remains an enormous platform, representing about $70 billion in ad spend in 2019, according to eMarketer. Traditional television hasn't gone away completely, it has just evolved. The fact of the matter is, experienced media buyers can find your target audience within both broadcast and streaming OTT services, such as Hulu and Amazon Prime, and still achieve both effective reach and frequency. And while traditional TV stands well on its own, teamed with other well-planned omni-channel initiatives, traditional TV shines even brighter. Make no mistake, AM/FM radio still owns the largest piece of America's audio pie, according to Edison Research. Its 2020 Share of Ear report says AM/FM radio accounts for 39% of audio consumption among those 13 and older, compared to 18% clocked by streaming services, second among all audio segments, including podcasts, satellite radio, and own music. As Edison's research Share of Ear studies have consistently shown, when people are in their cars, it's AM/FM radio that is the overwhelmingly dominant audio companion. As the marketing landscape continues to evolve, new methods, typically referred to as new media, have emerged. These methods are mostly said to deliver better results than traditional media due to the ability of being able to target a narrow audience through the use of digitized channels. Rather than take the place of traditional media, the many forms of new media have provided additional opportunities to reach out to your audience. They have simply been added to the marketing equation. From search engine optimization and pay-per-click advertising to content, email, social media marketing, you have new opportunities to target your message and branding strategy. Let's walk you through some of the importance of these new age ad channels. Great SEO can drive as much as 90% of your website traffic and 96% of mobile search traffic, regardless of what other tactics you include in your online marketing strategy. By researching your competitors, optimizing your page with keywords, and testing your call to actions, you can significantly increase visitor traffic to your website. Pay-per-click advertising includes banner ads and other forms of display advertising. Pay-per-click ads require you to pay for each click, so bidding on the most relevant and effective keywords from the start is critical, so you get the best ROI from your ad spending. Social media allows you to connect with current and potential customers and provides businesses with the opportunity to build a sense of trust with consumers. Trust is a key factor and important to establish throughout the consumer's journey. It helps develop a lasting relationship with your consumer, enabling them to ultimately purchase your product or service. Effective content marketing can include anything from blog posts, to images, to videos, and even infographics. But to be effective, your content must target the appropriate audience where they look online for answers and the solutions that they need. Content marketing can bring in more leads than any other form of marketing if done right. Does this mean you should stop traditional advertising? Not necessarily. While often positioned against one another, traditional media and new media can offer immense value when combined with one another. Traditional and new media can complement one another, with each playing a vital role. Together, the two can paint a fuller picture of exactly what kind of consumer is interested in your business, which in turn tells you who you should be targeting. In order to reach the widest amount of people at an effective frequency, your best bet is to take advantage of both traditional and new media ad channels. Each has a distinct advantage that they offer over the other, and businesses can really benefit from using both. If you're currently using only traditional media, consider cutting that pie into one more piece and adding in some new media components. Likewise, if you primarily rely on social media or other forms of new age media, it wouldn't hurt to add in some traditional advertising methods as well. The marketing funnel. You may have heard of it before, but you might not know what it means or its relevance to your campaign. So let's walk through the various stages of the marketing funnel, its importance, and how and when you should leverage your message within the marketing funnel, depending on the goals of your campaign. The marketing funnel, also known as the purchase funnel, is a visual representation of all the steps a consumer has to go through before they purchase a product or service. It provides marketers with detailed insights into leaders' behavior, which gives them more hints on how to close the deal and build relationships with their consumer. In advertising, it often takes multiple touch points to effectively influence consumers' purchasing behavior. Buyers today are inundated by more marketing messages than ever before, about 6,000 per day by current estimations. This is where the marketing funnel comes into play. The marketing funnel allows you to identify when and where you can interact with your customer to create for nonstop engagement. Let's walk through some of the most effective media advertising methods you should be applying during each stage of the marketing funnel, depending on your business's goals. Awareness can be created through a wide variety of both traditional and new age advertisements, such as TV, radio, sponsored social media posts, SEO, and infographics. Content at this stage in the sales funnel should be informative, but also fun and interesting. It needs to stand out in an already crowded space, so don't be afraid to get creative. During the interest stage, you should start introducing customers to product details, sending targeted emails, blog posts, newsletters, or webinars. This allows you to start building relationships with leads by reaching out to them directly with relevant branded content. Marketers can then nurture leads via emails or specific content that is more targeted around industries, brands, and/or newsletters. During the consideration phase, try using marketing automation to send targeted email campaigns with actionable intent, such as free trials and sales announcements. Another popular funnel marketing technique is to offer them informational content, such as blog posts and webinars, that addresses their needs while gently guiding them towards your product and/or service. During the intent stage, you want to prove why your offering is the #1 option for the prospective customer. You'll need to target them with marketing materials that make a strong case for why your product is better than your competitors. So think testimonials, customer reviews, product comparisons, or live demos and tutorials. During the evaluation stage, the focus is kept on positioning your business offerings as the ideal choice. Here is a prime opportunity to introduce remarketing advertising, discount codes, special offers, or follow-up email campaigns. And lastly, purchase. You're here, you've made it. This is where you turn customers into brand advocates. When your customer has a good experience with your brand, you can encourage them to go on to tell others through testimonials and reviews, which helps to drive new prospects to the top of the marketing funnel to start the process again. A positive buying experience can lead to afterward referrals that fuel the top of the marketing funnel. After assessing which ad channels work best and implementing them throughout some of the key stages in the marketing funnel, doesn't mean your job's done, as the market never stops changing. You will need to monitor your campaign and continually optimize your ad channels to make it more competitive day by day and understand where most of your audience is drawing from. The purpose of optimizing your funnel is to get more people into the funnel, nudge more down through it, and finally turn them into brand advocates. Keep an eye on specific metrics that indicate the customer's engagement and interaction with your marketing campaigns, and ask yourself the following. Which areas of your marketing funnel that you're losing customers? Why do customers leave your funnel there? And how can you remove or eliminate the problems that prevent customers from making purchases? By doing this, you can identify the exact obstacles which are getting in the way of your purchase path and modify your marketing funnel accordingly. For each change you make, monitor subsequent site data to establish its success. This will help you compare the viability of different versions of your funnel. Hence, each change can help guarantee generation of the highest possible return. Integrated marketing, sometimes referred to as 360-degree marketing or omni-channel marketing, is the act of creating marketing campaigns across multiple channels that all work together and complement each other to reach the same end goal. It wasn't so long ago that there were only a handful of channels you could use to market your business. TV, magazines, mail, and out-of-home ads, like billboards, were pretty much the only options. Then came paid search results, Facebook, Google's ad network, podcasts, location-based targeting, and an ever-growing list of social media apps. Companies scrambled to establish a presence on each of these platforms, but without much thought to how their various channels could work together. To this day, a lot of companies hire different agencies for their website than they do for their social media and advertising, and those agencies might not even communicate with one another. In recent years, that's led to the rise of integrated marketing, a focus on presenting a unified, consistent message across every channel that you use for your marketing. Successful companies don't just splash their logo on every network they can find. They take a more strategic approach. Plain and simple, with the explosive growth of digital marketing channels, having a solid integrated marketing strategy is more important than ever to reach your business's goals. These goals could include raising brand awareness, getting a consumer to purchase a product or service, getting people to opt into an email list, and much, much more. Companies now need to ensure that their display ads, social ads, search ads, website messaging, social profiles, email marketing, and much more are all aligned to provide for consistent messaging. This can be pretty difficult, particularly for large companies that may have different teams focusing on different channels. But due to the volume of marketing messages consumers see on a daily basis, having a consistent and memorable message is more important for your business now than ever. Below are some questions to ask before you begin any integrated marketing campaign. What is the goal of the campaign, and how will we measure success? And which ad channels make the most sense to implement depending on these goals? What will our messaging be, or what unique value add proposition are we trying to get across? Developing a good call to action is critical, and making that call to action consistent across all of your ad channels, both traditional and new, will be key to the success of your campaign. Which channels will be the most effective way to promote this message and reach the largest audience most cost effectively? Digital ads are proven to provide some of the best ROI, as you can target a specific audience while also monitoring the CPM throughout the flight. It also provides real-time results, unlike some traditional ad avenues such as radio or print, which allows you to pivot as needed to ensure and guarantee the highest campaign success. Once you have the answer to each of these questions, you're ready to begin building your integrated marketing campaign and reap all of the benefits that an integrated marketing campaign offers. Employing an integrated marketing campaign will create a unified marketing strategy that will deliver numerous benefits. Not only will it boost sales and profits, but it will also increase brand loyalty, save you money, and increase your competitive edge. In marketing, trust is everything. After all, 83% of customers would recommend a company they trust to others. Trust is built through reliable consistency. In other words, by giving your audience what they want when they want it. When you integrate your messages and keep them consistent, you gain the trust of your audience, and it's far easier to sell to prospects who trust you than to those who don't. With the average attention span now shorter than a goldfish and consumers exposed to an average of 6,000 marketing messages every day, a trusted brand with a cohesive offering is a reassuring encounter in a sea of advertising clutter. Integrated marketing naturally favors a lean approach to working. When everyone from your social media coordinator to your SEO whiz is focused on the same end goal, the staffing cost of duplicated efforts across multiple campaigns is reduced, saving your business time and money. Photography, graphics, and content can be costly to a business. By integrating your campaign, you will eliminate the need for duplication, as when you integrate, you can share across various platforms, saving your business money and valuable time. You should also think about how you can use these images across all areas of your business. For instance, could they be used on an exhibition stand at a trade show, in print collateral, or on your website? When you standardize branding and promotional collateral, design and print costs benefit from scalability. And unlike traditional media, the results you receive from new media are often in real time. That allows you to make instant changes to your creative in order to achieve maximum effectiveness. It also gives new media a leg up over traditional, where it often takes time to see the results of a campaign. Results are highly trackable, and you can see exactly what demographics your ads are scoring big with and which ones you're missing. Let's walk through some case studies of some popular brands that do a great job at implementing an integrated marketing approach. Spotify, a well-known streaming music giant, does a great job with integrated marketing, particularly when it comes to creating seamless experiences both on and offline. At the end of the year, they launched their annual yearly roundup where you can listen back to all of your favorite songs over the course of the year. They do this by way of in-app ads, notifications, email, and outdoor placements on billboards, including signs on streets and subways, all places where people walk by and listen to music on their phones. Here's a couple visual examples of what Spotify does to promote their yearly roundup campaign. As I mentioned previously, they do a great job of promoting this message by way of in-app ads, transit, and billboard advertising. Like other integrated marketing campaigns, they all use similar designs and wording to create a memorable experience. In fact, memorable enough that Spotify won the Outdoor Advertising Association of America's Obie Award for the best out-of-home campaign in 2018, proving that billboard advertising is still a very highly sought-after marketing medium and can be a very powerful marketing tool for global, national, or even local businesses. Another great case study would be for Clorox. The Clorox company has been around for over 100 years and has a deep history of using traditional ad mediums to sell their products. You've probably seen them on TV, heard a radio ad, or maybe even seen them on a billboard or two. A few years ago, Clorox started an online community with the assistance of social media that corresponded with the start of the school year. Their Twitter page that weekend was trending, and the blog was recognized for its useful information by social media moms on a global scale. Here's a visual of the homepage and the online community Clorox started a few years back. This online forum gave moms a huge list of resources to help them prepare for the start of the school year, including back-to-school tips and even fun projects parents could download at home and do with their kids. By offering consumers the ability to engage with your brand on an online community setting, not only will it help to strengthen the brand's reputation, but it will help to increase consumer retention, leading customers to become brand advocates. Here are a few tips to ensure proper implementation of a successful marketing campaign. Get everyone on the same page, including senior executives, and ask for involvement from everyone during the planning stages. In order for your campaign to be truly successful, all team members must know what is going on so confusion cannot reign supreme. Develop a marketing communication strategy that has crystal clear positioning statements and objectives. This strategy should ensure that core values are at the center of every piece of communication and that all content builds around your brand rather than dilutes it. While integrating your marketing efforts may at first seem overwhelming, If you commit to it for one campaign, you will experience the benefits yourself and understand the extra effort is well worth it. And once you have your first integrated campaign behind you, you can expect future campaigns to run like a well-oiled machine. Integrated marketing can not only save your organization time and money, but can also lead to higher ROI per campaign and help to build trust with your audience. Adopt a holistic approach to marketing and maintain a consistent message. It will help to increase both the reach of your message and also the likelihood that your audience will take the action you want them to take. It's also important to note that your audience may not be active on all channels you invest in. Some people, for example, don't listen to podcasts but may listen to the radio, and vice versa. Others may not have cable TV but do watch shows through subscription services such as Hulu or Amazon Prime. By doing demographic research and taking an integrated marketing approach, you can cast a much wider net to reach people who may not only be primarily active on certain channels, while also reinforcing the message for people who see the message on multiple channels. Lastly, all of the channels should coincide with each other. It's common for people who see an ad on a billboard or social media site to then do a search for that brand, click on their paid or organic search listing, browse their website, and then complete the action you wanted them to take. By taking an integrated approach, you'll start to see a much higher ROI per marketing campaign. Is your current agency of record incorporating a fully integrated marketing approach? Do they provide you with monthly recap reports or weekly updates throughout the campaign's flight to prove they are continuously optimizing campaigns and tweaking things as needed to ensure a campaign's most optimal success? Tap into WeDo's full-service marketing team, which specializes in all things traditional and digital. Feel free to reach out to either myself or Sean Owen today. Thank you for watching. We'll open it up to our Q&A portion.
Thanks, Amanda. And for anyone that still has questions, feel free to type those in the chat box and we can go through those. I'm just going to run through the ones we've gotten so far. All right, Amanda. So the first question is, how do I know which advertising channels are proving the most effective for my campaign?
Sure, that's a great question. And there's a couple areas you can look a little closer into to gauge how effective each ad channel is performing for your campaign. For traditional mediums like print or radio, it can be tough to pinpoint, who is seeing that message and taking a direct action as a result. Unless it's a conversation in which the consumer is buying a product or service direct from your business and mentions they heard or saw your ad, you would never know otherwise. So having said that, there's a couple different ways to track success through traditional mediums. For print, we often recommend implementing a custom QR code that people can scan, which might bring them direct to a landing page or product listing. That means you can really track and measure, who scanned it, when they scanned it, and what device they used. For radio, you can implement what's called a Vanity URL, which is a unique URL created based solely on the advertising medium that's in play. So an example of a custom Vanity URL can be as simple as adding a /radio to the URL, which serves as a redirect. And by implementing that Vanity URL, you can then go back to Google Ads and track and measure who's using that URL, and that's another way to gauge the effectiveness of radio ads. For digital ads, you can run different pieces of creative, for instance, like a display campaign, perhaps with one or two different call to actions. And what you can do is monitor the click-through rate and kind of A and B test which pieces of creative are resulting in more clicks or conversions for your campaign. You'll want to run it for at least a few weeks to see how it performs to kind of properly measure its effectiveness. And after a few weeks, you can kind of look at which creative is outperforming the other and pause the lower performing creative and serve up the higher performing creative as depending on how the metrics prove to serve. And then two, should you see a lift in conversions.
Great. So for your next question, someone asked, how does an integrated marketing campaign reduce marketing costs or lead to a higher ROI?
Sure. So when you take a cross-channel approach, it allows several things to happen that not only reduces marketing costs, but boosts ROI. Because you are creating more presence and people are having a number of touch points, it leads to creating more conversions and giving that, you can give more conversions, you can see what people are paying for the ads. So you're going to see a reduced cost, right? So by making sure that you're also not pigeonholing your budget, in a tactic or a channel that might not lead to the best delivery or results, it allows you to take a more fluid approach. So you're going to ultimately reduce your costs that way. It's also a little bit about targeting. So you're targeting a better customer and the right customer. With cross-channel marketing, you're feeding information from ads and results that converted well into other channels, right? So it's what's called infinity audiences. So in the background, you're also informing other channels who the right customer is based on the audience and the data that you collect. What happens then is that the ad is shown, not just to any customer, but a customer that is more likely to convert. So it kind of creates an ecosystem where all the channels are working together versus sporadically. So you'll kind of see a lift happen that way when you adopt that holistic approach.
All right, and it looks like we just have one more question, and that is, what is an average day like for a media planner?
Sure. An average day in the life of a media buyer, that can be anything from starting off doing demographic market research, asking clients what their business's goals are, tapping into, ratings information, whether it's Nielsen for television or Scarborough for radio, media reconciliation, invoicing, dealing what's called make good. Sometimes if certain vendors don't run ads, you can work to negotiate make good schedules. And then building a great media recommendation. And that's kind of a lot of things. And then what I do also at We Do is I work a lot in content, which is different for the average media buyer, but I like working in content, and I kind of write some radio copy here and there. So kind of a lot of different areas that I touch at We Do. So it's a fun job.
We also had another question come in while you were answering that. So first off, Carrie just wanted to say this was very informative, and she wanted to thank you. And her question was, what are some of the trends you are seeing that you are excited about?
So some of the trends that I'm seeing that I'm excited about are specifically with OTT, so over the top advertising. So versus traditional media and OTT, you can kind of really tap into, certain programs and demographic information, household information, proprietary information that tells you more about the consumer and who's tapping into that programming. It's an area that, traditional TV doesn't tap a whole lot into. But OTT really offers that custom tailored experience to kind of learn more about who your potential target audience is, by way of, like I said, household income, interests. It's a really great way to know that you're kind of targeting the right prospective customer. So it's something we push for heavily for our clients is TV creative and OTT creative. So that's a fun new age piece of media that is really fun to work with.
Awesome. So that wraps up the questions, Amanda.
All right, great. Well, thanks for taking the time, everyone, today. I appreciate you carving out some time from your day and listening to my webinar.